Hey everyone, Laura Cerrano here from Feng Shui Manhattan. Happy New Year. It's been quite the journey leading into 2021. Just to quickly get into it, I am going to start the 27-day Feng Shui Manhattan Transformational Challenge. And today, on January 1st, will be day one. And as always, we like to start our first day with setting your primary intentions. And there can be different descriptions on what an intention is. So if you don't like the word intention, you can use the word focus, clarity, though I do recommend to stay away from the frequency of wishes, using the word maybe, I hope so. Yes, those are words that can still line up with that conversation, but in regard to intention setting for this particular purpose, we want to encourage you to have more clear, precise perspective on what it is that you're really targeting toward, what you're aiming for in order to cultivate a certain type of energy that you're receiving towards self, and maybe even to share with other people. So in any type of setting in the world of energy, and especially in the world of Feng Shui, we have to start with a core foundation. And that foundation right now is completely up to you. And when I'm working with my clients in the world of Feng Shui or even in Reiki, I always ask them key categories of questions. And so I'm going to share those categories with you. And if you choose to participate, I absolutely welcome it. And if you don't, that's totally cool. But I do recommend you choose something to focus on, even if it's one intention this year. It can make a world of difference. And there has been scientific studies on the difference between people who have targeted goals versus they're kind of aimlessly wandering around the planet, just kind of hoping for the best. The best way you can provide evidence on this is by doing it yourself and just trying something new. So the first category I'm going to give you is career. Career can be described as obviously your professional title. What is the focuses that you are looking to cultivate in professional growth? Where are you right now? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? And if you're not, what type of intentions, new focuses, new purposes are you looking to cultivate in your life today, planting the seeds of right now, which will unfold for later? So take a moment, and you can pause the video as you go through, sit down with a pen and a pencil, or those writing materials or a piece of paper. Definitely recommend you handwrite this versus type it out, and really contemplate, where am I right now in my profession? Am I happy? And how would I like to see this new evolution of 2021 unfold for myself and for that experience? Okay, so you can keep it simple, but still keep it direct, if you will. And then you can go on to the next category in the world of Feng Shui. We call this wisdom. Wisdom can also be subdivided into the conversation of self-cultivation, intellect, the basis of anything that you want to learn. And what you learn in turn, you can share with others. So with that, what are some new things that you are looking to learn in the year 2021? It can be any category. It can be metaphysical science, it can be cooking, it can be something that will progress you personally or professionally, anything that your heart desires to learn. So that would be the second category. The third category is family. How are the family dynamics within your household? This is a big one right now because we're all spending even more time due to our friend COVID. So this is important. How are the relationship dynamics with your immediate family or whoever's in the household with you that is, classified as family? Are they healthy? Do stronger boundaries need to be set? What's going on? Or maybe even more time to be spent. You can still be in the same household, but maybe you're choosing to avoid one another. Maybe there needs to be some type of peace or discussion that's had, or maybe everything is really good and your intention can simply be gratitude. So family, and family can also be subdivided into the discussion of friends. So if you have friends that you consider like family, that still counts. The next area is wealth. wealth can be described obviously as monetary wealth, income, things of that nature. So how are you feeling in that realm of wealth? Do you feel supported? Do you feel there's an area of lack? If there's an area of lack, you can, if you want, dig a little deeper and ask yourself, what about wealth am I afraid of in the term of the discussion of lack? Where do I feel lack? Because sometimes the core issue isn't the actual physical money. It can be something else, such as I don't feel deserving of accumulating wealth, or I'm not open to receiving different opportunities or outlets in how I can cultivate abundance, wealth, and prosperity. So I'm just giving you some different possibilities on how to see this category. But then wealth can also be shifted to, what do I feel I deserve more of? What do I value in my life? And the idea of value doesn't have to always be about the green paper or the credit card. It could be about valuing more time with people, for yourself, anything like that. So take a moment and think about, how do you approach the word wealth, and how does that resonate to you when you hear it? Then we have what's called reputation. Reputation essentially is, if you had a mirror in front of you and you look at it, do you love the reflection that you see? And it's not just the physical, it's the emotional, mental, and even the spiritual development of self. Are you happy with that reflection? Are you looking to cultivate a new storyline, if you will? So again, this can be personal or professional. This relating essentially to, I want to cultivate a better self of confidence. That way I can go out into the world and make videos like this, or I could go out into the world and write my book and be recognized for that, or at least pat myself on the back that I even tried to do that, because a lot of people won't. They won't even attempt it. Or it could be, I feel like I want to have the reputation of being healthier, so just making better choices, daily as I wake up, and what I choose to eat, or my lifestyle in general. So reputation can really cover the gamut, if you will, with a lot of different areas and what cultivates your lifestyle and your life. And then we also have partnership. Partnership is essentially, it can break up into 3 categories, if you will, subcategories. But the primary category for partnership in the world of Feng Shui everyone thinks about is love, intimacy, sex, things of that nature. So in regard to that particular conversation, you can essentially think of partnership as, if you're in a relationship, how's that relationship dynamic going between you and your spouse or whomever you're with right now? If you're not in a relationship, what is the type of relationship would you love to cultivate? First with yourself, that's the divine connection relationship. That's one of the subcategories. And then branching it into sharing that with that future partner. And then for business relationships, who do you want to team up with, collaborate with? I feel this year, and just seeing it in my own profession, there's going to be a requirement of a lot of collaboration, because the old way of doing things, you can't really do things solo. You can do some things, of course, but in regard to business, I feel like it's going to be of a greater benefit to business owners of all types, and also to the community and the collective of this world, to start seriously working together. So just kind of putting that out there. But in regard to relationships, what is it that either, 1, you're grateful for, 2, you'd like to see enhanced or be worked on? There's a lot of possibility here. So just to kind of give you a bit more guidance in how you can potentially think about this, feel that intention and write it down, is, how do you describe healthy partnerships, healthy unities, healthy collaborations, and then move forward with that type of frequency, resonance, and energy into the year 2021. Then we have the area of health. Health can divide itself into 4 subcategories: physical health, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So there is a few overlaps with some categories I've already shared, yet it's good to go back and just sit with that information and say, what am I doing on all 4 components to really cultivate a healthy lifestyle? And that's really an aspect of Feng Shui, is that you are cultivating a healthy lifestyle, and you're just using these different types of principles to promote that. Then we get to what's called children and creativity. Children and creativity, it's essentially one and the same. So, and a lot of times adults tend to negate this and they completely push it out of their lifestyle. And what that means, just to kind of sum this area up in terms of creativity, what have you been doing lately to bring joy into your heart and your life? And maybe some people are like, how could we do anything? There's all this chaos in the world and, maybe chaos in my house or in my mind and my spirit. Well, you could say that, but why choose that perspective all the time? There's always a silver lining in something, and there's always another way to perceive. So this is what we're attempting to offer as a platform, as a new perspective. So what joyous things have kind of been put to the wayside? I don't care how big or small that description is within your own heart. This is your own personal conversation with self. And for those who want to extend that more deeply, whatever term you want to use, God, source, universe, or whatever deity or faith you practice to, this is also extending to that world. So in essence, creativity isn't just something you think about, it's something you participate in. It could even be as simple as laughing or, getting on the phone with friends or whoever. So just think about that, because that can also bounce back to the conversation of wealth. If a person feels lack, they're usually also lacking joy. And that lack of joy then affects your health. That effects of health then can affect your reputation and how you see yourself and how others see you. And as you can see, no area is separate. They start to influence and motivate or decrease the energy of these different areas that are built together almost like a web, if you will. Now, in terms of children, if you have children, you can write intentions for children. There are clients out there and people who are like, well, I might not have children, but I'm looking to expand on my family. So you can even have intentions for that. The sky's the limit and beyond as well. And then we have the last area called helpful people and travel. So just starting with helpful people, the easiest way you can begin to approach this, if you'd like, is what are the type of goals, whether it's personal growth, professional growth, or just things you're interested in learning that are beyond your capability right now to do solo. And usually when that happens, it's a good thing because it means you're expanding yourself outside your comfort zone and you're also extending a hand of yourself to others to say, can you help me? And it's a lot easier to get things done. Again, when you're working collaboratively, maybe you have a mentor, you're looking for a mentor, and eventually the script can be flipped where you can be that helpful person, being a mentor, offering guidance in X, Y, Z. But to begin the process of calling in helpful people, first you have to know, what do I need help with? And then the energy will follow that as you become clearer. And as for the attached category to this sector, we have what's called travel. Obviously, for some, travel is really not happening right now, but I invite you to use your imagination. And that imagination can be when things open up, we're slowly taking, local trips, being safe, of course, as much as you can. Where would you like to go? Where would you like to go for leisure? Where would you like to go with your business? And because we're very global and virtual right now, you can really go anywhere. So again, the sky's the limit and beyond. So what are the intentions of your reach to the global, local community for either business or pleasure, leisure purposes? One of my intentions last year, I'll just share, was to travel cross country. And quite honestly, that's been an intention for a while. And I'm like, I want to go cross country. I want to do this. I want to do that. And that became a reality, interestingly enough, at the very end of 2020. So I can't share much on that, but I can say it became a reality and it's been quite the journey, and it's going to be extending pretty much into mid-2021. So it's very fun. With that said, that is the first roll of tips, if you will, for the 27-day Feng Shui Manhattan Transformational Challenge. First step into any change that you bring into your life is to become clear of why, but also releasing the how. We're just becoming clear on the why. And again, you have at least 9 categories that you can fall back on as a guideline. If you have more intuitive process or any other process that you use, by all means, go for it. This is just one aspect that I've been using with clients and myself, family and friends, and we find it to be very beneficial, and we do it every year. And honestly, you have 2 times you can do this. The new year, as the whole globe will celebrate, and then you have the Chinese Lunar New Year. And so that will happen in February. So that's a second time. So you can take this as your first draft and then refine it a second time in February. That's usually what I do, honestly. But just to have the momentum of this focus and resonance and energy working together, that's really what you need, is just the momentum. So the intentions, keep this in mind too. Intentions is not just about thinking. You have to marry 3 things together. The thought, becoming clear with that. The emotion that's connected to that as well, to the intentions that you're writing. And then you also want to participate in the action. So some intentions will require more actions than others, and that's perfectly normal. And as you become more familiar with this process, you will know when it's time to take action, when it's time to sit back and just let things kind of marinate, if you will, and kind of balance yourself in between those 2 worlds. And if something feels like it's not moving, don't focus on that. And this is a tip my mother gave me, Carol Provenzale, as she was training me to become the Feng Shui consultant. She would say, instead of just focusing on what's not working, shift your attention and bring momentum and movement someplace else. And again, you can use these categories that I've roll called off, if you would so like to. And just keep doing that. Allow your focus to move around the Bagua map. That's what we're using, more of a Western style approach, more of a psychological, archetypical type of approach. And just allow your focus to shift accordingly. And that's also going to shift the energy and keep it moving versus potentially getting stuck. And that's when people get frustrated and XYZ. So to sum it up, focus on your intentions, write them down. And I do encourage people not necessarily to share your intentions with others. This is more of a private conversation, but as you're progressing with these different changes and tips, I do encourage you to share it with the group. So I'll be posting these tips on like 3 different areas as much as I can. And so Facebook will be one of them, YouTube, and hopefully Instagram as well. So you'll have 3 different outlets and where you can watch, you can share, and all that good stuff. All right, so stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll do another tip with Feng Shui. Until then, wishing you all a very happy, safe new year as we transition into 2021. Bye, everybody.